Feels great, baby.
And the kick is up. It is good.
We continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed.
What are they getting?
They're gonna get everything I got. I promise you that.
Looking, throwing in the end zone.
Yeah. We in this thing. Welcome to a special edition of the 49365 podcast post-game show on Frontline Sports Media. You guys already know what it is, man. What an amazing way to end the regular season, not only for our team, for the 49ers, but for the whole NFL, man. It was a crazy week 18. A lot of, back and forth about having an extra game this season, having an extra playoff team. But the way everything worked out, man, the NFL is the number one drama show. And, thankfully enough, was able to, pick out a game earlier in the beginning of the season and say, this is the game I want to go to. Try to go to at least one road game. But I guess I didn't pick a road game this season because that really is a home game. And I think I'm going to have to go to that Rams game every year because it's just an amazing stadium, an amazing experience. And, was able to bring the cousin down to L.A. and have him enjoy it. So you guys already know what it is. My name is Bia Mechie, as always. And this time in person, I'm with JB.
Yeah, man, what's poppin', B? What's poppin', faithful, man? Hey, what a great game! Like you said, I gotta personally thank you, bro, for getting these tickets because this was an experience, bro.
Yeah,
this was an experience. This is what it's all about. Yeah. Being able to see some games like this. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. Like it was pretty crazy, honestly. We went through all the emotions like you guys did, but it was just so dope to see how many Niner fans were in LA at that beautiful stadium. The stadium is amazing, but it was like what, 65% Niner?
I was saying comfortably 60% Niners fans, 40% Rams fans. I was saying like it feels like you're at a home game where there's a lot of away fans. You're like, oh man, it's a lot of Rams fans here at this game. Like at our home game, it's a lot of Rams. That's how it felt like a lot of Rams fans were there.
I caught you trying to like tell that to people, like the other Niner fans. You'll be like, it's a lot of Rams fans, but I think it was going over their heads. But man, it was going crazy though, bro. Like I mean, I don't know where to start.
Well, I called the title of this show, trying to hook people in a little bit, a little clickbaity, but I called the title of this show, Jimmy Saves the Day. And it's so funny because Jimmy sets up a situation where he can save the day by, a lot of his own doing, putting the game in balance and being there in person. There's a lot of things you see, like watching the game in person versus, watching it on TV, and just being there in person. It was just the full experience of Jimmy Garoppolo. It really was.
Let's get down to it. Where do you stand with Jimmy G? Who is Jimmy G to you? Like, who is he?
That's a good question, man. Look, man, Jimmy G, I told you before the game, like I had a Jimmy G jersey. I rocked it. The last time I rocked it, I think, was the Tennessee Titans game. And I knew then and there, like I just felt like that was going to be the last game that he was going to play for us, and to go out like that. He did have a touchdown drive on his last, drive, but it was a terrible way to go out. Right. I put my jersey away, what I'm saying? I retired it. I was like, not to say like, oh, I'm just done with Jimmy, but it's like, I just thought the writing was on the wall. It's time to start the new era. And why not start it now? We already had the Texans game, that whole back and forth with his hand. And then coming into this game, the big topic was, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Why would you start? This is what I was saying. Why would you start an unhealthy Jimmy? We've seen how he's played with struggling with injury. And it just looked like we just kind of thought, a lot of us, that Trey was going to get the start. And then yesterday we're at Disneyland. You got the kids there. We're with the kids at Disneyland, and I'm in the Twitter spaces. Shout out to Niner Nate and everybody else who's involved in all those Twitter spaces. But I'm in the spaces and everybody's talking about like, oh, there's all the announcements start to leak out. Like, Jimmy's playing, Jimmy's starting, like Trey's not playing. And, it's just like, man, like Shanahan just loves Jimmy. It seems to be the case, or he's just really set on his original plan of having Trey sit. Shanahan seems very stubborn from the outside looking in, and it looks like that was the plan that I had originally. That's what I'm going with. To your question, now that he's played in this game, had the ups and the downs, the Jekyll and Hyde, the jittery Jimmy, the good Jimmy, bad Jimmy, all in one in this game. What's my stance with Jimmy G? How do I feel about Jimmy G as a quarterback? I mean, I really appreciate. I think him even, putting the game in the balance himself, but finding a way to fight back and win this game and being a part of that. To me, every season is quest for 6. We're always trying to win a Super Bowl, but I honestly, and just being there, this was a huge victory. And I just feel like regardless of what happens in the playoffs, I mean, yes, we want to be competitive. I think we have a great chance against Dallas. We're going to get to that. We don't got to talk about that even tonight. But where I stand with Jimmy is just thank you. You know what I'm saying? You made us appreciation. I don't want to, there's so much hate and it's easy. It's like, it's low hanging fruit to just talk about, the interceptions with 3 people there. And it's like, Jimmy's Jimmy, but he fights, he smiles in the huddle. We're watching the TV copy right now, the highlights of the game, and you're seeing like the smile in the huddle. And just when you're at the game, you see like on the sideline, it seems like George Kittle, there's a few plays where he's, getting guys together, and Jimmy does, a lot of that. That's his intangibles. We always talk about all those quarterbacks in that range of like average. And yeah, you can say the Cleveland Browns may say we would prefer to have Baker, the Minnesota Vikings, we prefer to have Kirk, but we would prefer to have Jimmy from all those guys, because that's just me. I want to speak for all Niners fans, but he has those intangibles. And yes, he's so frustrating. But if that's just who he is and that's who he's been, and Jimmy's going to Jimmy, and what a Jimmy way to end the season.
I mean, I think honestly, man, this, it's crazy how things could change. And if we lost that game, it's Jimmy's in a terrible, Niner fans are like, go, bye, never again. If we lost, and it was so easy to lose that game. Now that we win, it's national media. They talking about Jimmy G, Ryan Clark. Oh, Jimmy G's gonna make me eat my words. Just everybody who's been shitting on Jimmy G in the national media, their tune has changed. So with that being said, going into the playoffs, this performance, I just feels like, okay, it's giving us confidence. It's giving him more confidence. Not to say he isn't already battle tested, but it's just like it's the right momentum for Jimmy G, and we need Jimmy G to make plays. We need him to make those plays. We need that quick release. We just need that. We don't need the turnovers. We don't need that, but we just need the good vibe Jimmy G to come back. The 6 in a row wins, 2017. Was that 2017 when he came?
Yeah.
We need that type of vibe, bro. And I just feel like this type of win and this type of pressure. I mean, the pressure. Oh my God. Like, he
halftime.
Like, just think about it, bro. Like, just think about the fans and think about being Jimmy G. Like, and how he always be like, shout out to the faithful. Like, I wonder if in his mind, he like, man, F these fans.
You walks onto the field, he hears it, guys like, we want Trey. We at the game, we see it, like all the behind the scenes things that you guys know are there when you're watching it, but like experiencing it. Yeah, it's real. And especially when you put out a performance like that coming out in the first half. I mean, this is do or die. I'm sitting watching the Atlanta Falcons game. I tweet like, go Falcons. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching that. It's like, oh, that's out the window. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Falcons aren't doing anything. Why should they?
At first, it seemed like that was all we could rely on.
Yeah.
At first, it was like, all right, well, I hope the Falcons win.
Exactly. And Jimmy's out there throwing picks and the fumble, like just 3 turnovers. I mean, 2 turnovers in the first. Like,
that's what I'm saying, though. Like, picture that type of pressure. First of all, it's pressure. Like, you hear it, Trey, everything. You hear that. Okay. I mean, from the jump, you hear that. Then this week you hear the noise, bro. You got to hear that everybody wants Trey to play.
But
you hear Chris Carter.
Yeah.
You hear everybody talking about Chris Carter, talking about Jimmy G like he's just some punk.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then you fumble. And then you throw picks. And like that to me is just like if a normal person is going to fold.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like a normal quarterback.
But I think to your point about like what Jimmy's mindset is and the pressure and coming in, it's still a lot of folks. We were at the game, like plenty of people rocking Jimmy G jerseys, whole families, like, and I feel like as a professional athlete, we talk a lot about like, whether it's like, Raheem Mostert's wife talking about, what people have said on Twitter, or like, Baker Mayfield's wife, or, like you hear those things and all, and it's terrible.
What did Raheem Mostert?
Well, I feel like there's been times in the past where Raheem, after he got hurt, remember,
when the fans,
fans, fans get crazy, and we're not condoning any of that. Like, that's out of pocket, but it comes with the territory. Not saying it's good, but it comes with the territory. And Jimmy's been, professional in that respect. Like, in terms of what you're saying, like, still going out there, just I don't know, the executive presence that he has. Like I just, you know, and it sounds like we're just doing this big ups to Jimmy show, but maybe that's what it needs to be because it's coming from, it means a lot because it's coming from an area of, you remember like after the post game press conference, Shanahan was talking about Ambry Thomas and he was like, I never thought that he'd be at this point, but that's a compliment. Like it's not, I'm not saying that like, it's a testament to, I kind of feel that with this game and with Jimmy and with, when you look at the first half, he was out there 317, like, looking at our scoreboard, looking at the Falcons situation, just like, man, like, we're gonna end like this, and like I was really thinking
it was probable. It was like, all right, this is probably gonna be it.
And I was thinking Trey was gonna come in possibly. Like I was thinking like it was that bad. It was that bad. It was that bad. I was like, look, people. It was crazy on Twitter, the spaces. I was a little bit in at the game, just trying to like hear a little bit and just like, man, just trying to find some therapy in what the folks are saying, and like it was just all negative energy. And we come out with that second half and we score and we're only down one score, and it just kept going from there. And the game was crazy, and we were just watching the NFL. They just put on YouTube the last basically 45 minutes of the game, like the fourth quarter. I think the end of the fourth quarter when it was crazy, the whole overtime. That's on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. That's how special of a game this was, and it maybe wasn't even the craziest game of the night. Shout out to the Raiders, Chargers. But yeah, man. I think that's a great question you open with, like, where do you stand with Jimmy? Because, like, regardless, like I said, regardless of what happens moving forward, like, it would have been so bad. Like, it's such a bad story if the Titans game was the last taste that he had. Like, just the last taste that we had as a faithful, like, seeing him play and everything, like, if that's what it was. And for him to have this game, basically glorified home game, like I kept saying, in LA. I went to the Saints game in New Orleans in 2019. I also went to that.
How does this one compare to that one live? Because that one was smacking too.
One thing I will say about the difference between those games and the experience is that the Saints fan, and it just always depends at where you're at in the stadium. We just happened to be, I think, in an area that was just very cordial. It wasn't like too rowdy.
It wasn't hostile.
Yeah, it wasn't hostile. It wasn't like there was a lot of, there was some Rams fans by us and whatnot, but like they were all just kind of chilling and
and that's the way it needs to be.
Yes, because
I don't need to be at a game.
Yeah,
like that's
right,
like, bro.
But what's going on? Look, SoFi Stadium, like. You guys got to go to SoFi Stadium. It's just a beautiful. Everything there is just the experience is just amazing, just 100%, 110%. But where we were sitting, it was very cordial and just good vibes, nothing too hostile, nothing too crazy. And the difference was at the New Orleans game, the New Orleans fans, drunk, crazy. Like New Orleans was crazy. So if you remember, like the play before, George Kittle made that crazy, the Saints had just scored. So it was like they were all in your face, all like, what you gonna do? Blah, blah, blah. And you just looking there like, damn. And it's fourth down, and what I'm saying, like they're going crazy. And then we made that happen. This game was like, I didn't have that energy from the fans. So that would be the main difference, I would say. But just in terms of like, all-time regular season games. This is history. This was the first, 17th game for all these teams in the NFL, the first 17th game in Niners history in the regular season. And, it's a game to remember. Matt Mayoka was talking about it. Like, it was different, bro. It was different. It was different. This game was just, I think Jordan was saying that, the percentage chance for us winning was lower than the Falcons, lower than the Patriots when they were down 28-3 at the Falcons at the Super Bowl, right? So like we had such a small chance of winning that game, and it just felt like we were just teetering between like a 0 to 10% chance. Like, and then
when Jimmy, bro, when he took the sack on third down in the fourth quarter, I think it was like around the 2-minute warning.
Yeah,
like honestly, that's when I was like, all right, this game is over.
Right,
this game is over.
Right.
Kyle was looking at like he was looking at somebody, and I think they were like, should we go for it?
Right.
Like bro, it was crazy, man.
Y'all gotta bear with me. I'm gonna do my best to get through these comments. We have a little bit of a different setup this time. You know what I mean? I'm not really at the computer. We kind of far away to make sure we can both get in the screen. But yeah, we had a few comments, man. I definitely wanted to get to. I'll do my best to kind of navigate that. But as I'm going through these comments, JB, like I don't know if there's anything you want to transition to. Usually in these post game shows, we talk about, the offense. This is different. And I guess one thing I want to talk about now is just like the dominance over the Rams and like kind of piggybacking off of or veggie backing off of what I was saying about the Rams versus the New Orleans Saints fans. The energy in there was a little bit, it was cordial, but Sean McVay's on the sideline kind of going crazy when they score and like, just doing all that. And it's like they're up 17-0. And I just got the vibe from all the Rams fans in there in our section, at least. It felt like these games we play in the Seahawks, we've been to plenty of Seahawks Niners games. I've been the one that we won, and then, most of the ones that we don't win. You guys know how it is if you know what I'm talking about. And there's just an energy, regardless of the score, there's just energy. Right. And especially when we got back.
They didn't feel like too confident.
They didn't feel confident. I would definitely say that they didn't feel confident. That was definitely evident. And so that's one thing that I definitely stood out to me from this game that I'm always going to remember, just seeing all the Rams fans' face like behind us and stuff as we make these big plays and it's back and forth. And you just, I don't know.
The Rams are what, 12-5?
12-5.
And and two of them losses from us.
Yeah.
Swept them.
Yeah.
We swept them when they division champs, which is, it's crazy to think about. It's crazy to think about that these, like how good the Rams are and that we've beaten them 6 straight times.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, especially we've been to the playoffs now 2 times. But
yeah,
it's just, I don't know, man, I don't know, bro. But that's crazy. And honestly, to me, it's just the Ambry Thomas.
Yeah, how we go this long without even mentioning
bro,
him,
I feel like Jimmy G and Ambry Thomas, I don't know, they steal the show. Ambry Thomas, game-sealing interception. Ambry Thomas, number 20, the guy that I know I thought was a bust. Yeah. I thought he was a bust. Like I was like, okay, well, he's, there's no way we could get him on the field. Like Lenore to me was like, Lenore is all right, but he's better than Thomas because Thomas just looks terrible.
And a lot of fans, we were always talking about that, the 3rd round versus the 5th round pick, and this is why you got to be like, we talked about that with corners and just how the season was. Corner has been a big point of conversation for this game, and coming into it, Trent Williams is out, K'Wan's out, and a must-win, do or die or go home game. And like Ambry's out there, and you just look at the progression, over the last weeks, and him like, not really being in position, him being in position, him making plays, but not making the great play. It's making, like when you talk about that, like in Niners regular season history, let's just talk about recent memory. It's obviously the one I just talked about, the Kittle, playing in New Orleans, like that's huge, right? The Jimmy against Arizona, I want to say, well, Halloween feels great, baby. That was, some huge plays there, Emmanuel Sanders. But, and then I'll say like the Washington game, some of the splash, like that was just a crazy, but I mean, Ambry's pick to win it, the significance of it, play.
That's what it really is, bro. I mean, and we got 2 picks from the corners today. We got Mosley getting a pick, we got Ambry getting a pick, and that position right there has been the sus position. It's been like our DBs are not our DBs, our corners. And in the quarterback play.
Man, hey, I just feel like before we get to the rest of these cups, we gotta get, man, shout out to Armstead, 2.5 sacks, like huge plays.
Yeah,
like
2.5 sacks.
I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, y'all. He had 2.5. Remember, he had the one in the beginning, and he had that one where he got Stafford at the end.
I mean, I remember the one at the end.
Yeah, he 2.5. Armstead was big in this game. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, y'all. We gonna get to these comments. Man, shout out to Mosley. Like I just feel like Mosley, I just feel comfortable with him out there. Like he's just turned himself into, like, the thing about Mosley, especially at the cornerback position, right? Especially at the cornerback position, his swag and his energy is so even keel. I just don't feel like I stressed with him there. Like he doesn't seem like he panics. He's not the type of player who's gonna make like a panic, a PI. The one today was very subtle, like vet savvy. You know what I'm saying? Like watching the game live, we did not think that was PI at all. At all. And so we were hot, I'm sure y'all heard it on the broadcast how the fans felt about it. But it was like a subtle vet move. It's not like a panic. I just feel like he always has a even kill. Like I just feel safe with him there, man. Okay. So shout out to him, and shout out to Colton McKivitz, like being active for the first time this season. If you correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think this was the first time he was active this season. Goes in there for Trent Williams, replacing the highest graded PFF player of all time. from
He
the
did his
regular
thing.
season.
I think he did give up that sack though at the end.
Yeah, he gave
The
up a
one-
sack.
one,
He had the penalty. He had the false start.
Yeah.
And they were saying a lot of people in the post game press conferences, they were talking about how he was struggling a little bit in the first half. But I mean, I just feel like it wasn't like he was making a bunch of false starts and doing it. I mean, it was a home game, but I mean, I got to tip my cap to somebody coming in those conditions. I think it was Jalen Moore's 24th birthday, actually. That's cold that they did him like that. But I mean, hey, we had to do what we had to do, and it was the right decision because it worked. And I think that actually transitions well, unless you want to give any other shout outs. I think that transitions well to, it worked, so you can't really criticize it. And that goes to Trey Lance, Jimmy G.
Yeah,
I was on the side of play. Most of us were, right?
99%.
Yeah,
Or
95.
95.
95% of us wanted to see Trey, and even during the game, how it went, I was like, put him in.
I mean,
like
instantly, Jimmy's like his rope or leash, whatever you want to call it, is super short.
It's super short, but when you win and you're victorious, like a Shanahan, you want to be stubborn. You do that. Like people were so ready. Like I was just not saying anything, just like, man, we can't go out like this. We can't go out like this. And I got to give credit to Shanahan. I still don't agree. That doesn't mean I have to agree. I think like we get in these arguments and these back and forths. Like I don't have to agree with you for you to also be right though. Like both things can be true. Like I think it would have been successful. I think that's what this comment says. Thought Trey would give us a better chance considering all the circumstances. But give him props to Jimmy. Good Jimmy showed up today. Bad Jimmy showed up too. I don't know what you do.
For sure.
Both of them showed up.
Sure.
Like, but good Jimmy showed up though.
Yeah.
Great legendary Jimmy showed up.
Legendary.
Man. So I gotta give props to Shanahan on that because again, I don't agree with the decision, but if we win at the end of the day, like I'm not one of them fans who's gonna be like, oh, we should like
I'm just really wondering what is in Shanahan's mind. Why is he sticking with Jimmy? Like, I really want to know his reasoning specifically. What does he feel like Jimmy can do better than Trey? Specifically.
Yeah.
Like what is it? Like is he slow processing things or what's the issue? Like what is it, man? But because I definitely think after the Texans game, I felt like Trey showed enough.
Shout out to Jamal, man, in the comment section. Y'all make sure y'all tap in. I think they just got their YouTube set up, so definitely tap in, subscribe to their channel once they get their podcast going on their own channel. We actually ran into Jasper at the game.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we was just it was after the game was over. You know what I'm saying? We was just walking out, and I believe Croc came through the game. He was somewhere up there, and we had to get back home. We got all the kids here and whatnot, so we were on our way back home. But we definitely ran into Jasper like randomly. You know what I'm saying? That's for y'all who don't know. That's the first time we actually tapped in with the good brother. So definitely tap into today's show. But man, so many faithful out there, man. It was good just being able to, like I said, it was like a home game, but the energy after it was so crazy because right after we win, it's like the PA announcer's like, and we've won the NFC West. So it's like, it's just funny because again, the Rams don't have Seahawks energy for me. Of course, part of that is because we've been dominating. We've been the Seahawks in this scenario, right? So we've been the one that's
the blood is
the blood is
near.
yeah.
Like,
we don't have.
It's different.
It's different. It's not that vibe to begin with. And then on top of that, like it was a win-win for us because I mean, at least they won the NFC West and they're still gonna have a home game. So it's like
they wasn't happy.
They were not happy. They were not
happy.
happy. They were not happy at all. That's a good point. Definitely got to throw that out there. Playoffs, here we come. I said before the game, I don't care who really starts because I believe they give us about the percentage on winning. So I just wanted them to win. I think he's talking about they basically do the same thing, in terms of.
I mean, it's like Jimmy has a more comfortable, more experience,
right?
But Trey is obviously more gifted.
Man, the shout out to Elijah Mitchell in the run game. It felt like we were talking about it especially being at the game. I don't know how y'all thought about it, like watching it on TV, or for those of y'all who went to the game as well. But like, it looked like in the first half, he just looked a little, ginger with it. It looked like he was like, favoring his legs, and he just, I don't know, coming in and out the game, like in and out the huddle on the substitutions. It just looked like he was, out there not 100%, and he's probably not. I mean, he's had so many injuries this year. His knee, he's been a bell cow for us. Like we really thought Shanahan might go with the platoons for a system and just have Jeff Wilson out there and a little bit of Debo. Like, nah, it's pretty much been. I mean, Debo's been out there. I think he had 8 or 9 carries, so definitely getting the healthy load of carries in the backfield. But Elijah, I mean, it just feels like you were making the comment like as the game goes on, he just seems like one of those backs that gets better. Like when
just
we needed him
crazy, bro.
most.
Because he's not big. You know, he's not a big back. But
He was coming in as a speedster. He was coming in as a Mostert type. That's what he was supposed to
exactly.
be.
But he finds that second level. I don't. He always like he seemed like as the game goes on, you're gonna get a 4. You're gonna get 5. And that's what separated us today. Who was the team that could run the ball? They could not run the ball. They could never get their run game established. All it was, Stafford third down to Cup. That was their bread and butter.
Man,
Stafford third down.
Let's talk about the Rams a little bit, man. Like, because Cooper Kupp was just, man, that dude was dominating us. But it's funny because, like, it seems like, okay, I'll say this, y'all. I'll say this, y'all. We can transition to this. We talk so much, and you bring up this point a lot, right? About how, like, everybody's always complaining because Jimmy throws picks and did all this, and like, but it's like that's the glass, half empty mentality where it's like there's a lot of quarterbacks. If your name isn't Aaron Rodgers, with 40 touchdowns and 4 picks, like all these quarterbacks are making mistakes. Stafford looked very jittery out there to me. I know he had those, touchdowns with Cooper Kupp and the tight end, and he made his plays, but look, he was looking very jittery out there. I feel like the way he played, the sacks he took, the interceptions he threw, the miscommunication it seemed like with their high-priced players. This comment right here talking about Rams spent all that money in draft picks to sell high-priced tickets. Well, yeah, all their big play guys. You're talking about really the big 3, right? You're always talking about Aaron Donald, who obviously they drafted. You're talking about Odell Beckham, who they got really, free agency essentially. You're talking about Von Miller, and you're talking about Jalen Ramsey when you're talking about their big players, and Stafford, of course, like all that they got to get him. And it looked like at the end of the game, watching it on YouTube, like not being live at the game, the play that Odell dropped, I mean, it didn't really matter because they got the pass interference on that drive, but the play that Odell dropped, it looked like that was actually intended for Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, it was the wrong route.
It was the wrong route that Odell probably ran there. And then on the deep pass, it looked like
they was off the same page.
They didn't look like they're on the same page.
Like Ambry Thomas was looking at the ball, and Odell Beckham kept running. Like he didn't see the ball. So
and Stafford after the play just looked like he was like kind of looking at Odell like what's going on. Like it was definitely not how they drew it up. And it's just, I know Von Miller had a big sack. He had a huge sack in this game, and I don't know if it was in overtime in the fourth quarter, but he had a huge sack.
That was the one. That was the one that
made us punt.
Made us punt at the 2-minute warning,
right.
And it was like at that moment we had 0.4 chance of winning, according to some metric. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, F the metrics. But and I love us being the underdog. Like but yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, they're big players. It just seemed like the miscommunication with Odell. Love to see it, man. The Ramsey, we were talking about Ramsey during the game. Like there was that play that Jennings had, that big third down catch where he's just breaking tackle. Well, was it that play or was it
it was I think it was third down, but yeah, it was third down.
It was third down, and he was going out of bounds, and the other DB, the other corner, had him by the legs. Had him. And Ramsey's right there. He could come in and just try to lay down the wood and send him, but he just doesn't. Later on in the game, like Ramsey's, you see him on the sideline. You guys, he's one of them players.
He made a great pick.
Absolutely, a great pick. He's a great player. But I'm just saying that there's a lot of, we talk about pressure and Jimmy G, and there's a lot of pressure on these guys. There's a lot of pressure on these guys. Like with the Niners, like the pressure really relies with Shanahan. Jimmy has pressure because he went, but like Shanahan's already given them the keys. Like I feel like Jimmy does have pressure.
Do you think now that we've gotten into the playoffs, do you think? You're talking about the underdog mentality. What do you think the pressure is?
We're playing the Cowboys. We're playing the Cowboys. Yeah, we like I said.
You don't think there's pressure on Shanahan or Jimmy?
No, I don't. We've gotten to the playoffs after a roller coaster season.
If they play bad, if it's a bad, I don't want to kill the vibe, but if it's a bad game,
well, I just feel like we're on the road,
right.
We're
going into it at least.
Yeah, we'll see how the game plays out, but I feel like we're playing like with a good amount of house money. Like I feel like after that type of win and that type of performance to get in the dance, and we're playing against the Cowboys and America's team. This is gonna be a week, y'all. I want y'all to brace yourselves. It's not going to just be 49ers content creators that you can tap in with. You can turn on ESPN, NFL Network, Fox Sports. They're going to be talking about this game. They're going to be talking about this team because we're playing the Cowboys. Y'all already know. And not only that, but this game against the Rams, we're going to get talked about this week.
And that's so good because honestly, I was like, man, when I thought we were going to lose, I'm just like, all right, I'm not even about to really watch the playoffs this year. I'm going to just tap in a little bit. Definitely on this week, I wasn't going to be watching it. But now we get that good entertainment. We get to sit back, ESPN, NFL Network, YouTube, whatever. let's talk about us. Talk about us. Tell us about how teams don't want to see us. Talk to me about how resilient and what type of team the Niners are. That's what they're gonna say.
Yeah, man, and they're gonna talk about Stafford. I saw on the YouTube broadcast that he broke the record. I don't know if it was this game or when, but he broke the record from Kurt Warner of most yards in the season. Which all those yards, all those records now are like asterisk because there's 17 games. But he's definitely like Matt Stafford. We can see the talent. Like, I mean, there's no question. But like I said, this comment here saying Stafford shows you why he sucks even on a good team. It's like I'm not gonna say like people out here be so but he definitely was like. Again, jittery. Okay. We talk about jittery Jimmy. It was jittery Stafford out there for sure.
So check this out. This just came to me when we were talking about Stafford, and talk about Jimmy all the time. What is the separation between like great quarterbacks to not good ones? Because you think about all these quarterbacks, like you said, they all make mistakes. And Jimmy, when he makes a mistake, it's like fans, we be ready to turn on him instantly. And it's like, what's the, is it, I in my head, I'm like, oh, well, it's because, Mahomes, like the upside is way better. With like Stafford, the upside is apparently way better. But today,
I just feel like
what's the difference? Like, does Stafford have just a crazy amount of upside more than Jimmy? Maybe so.
I think when you look at Stafford's, both of his picks, right? They're like on go routes, the one to Mosley and then the one to Ambry. They're on go routes where it's like, okay, like I'm gonna, give it. It's like, okay, gets picked. I think the Mosley one was double coverage, so that one's like, what are you doing? But right. Jimmy is like, there's 4 people around both of those picks. The first one, I guess you got hit. I gotta rewatch it on the TV copy, but there's like nobody around it. The fumble, it's just like, it just looks so weak. It's like, bro, like you can't. Is that because of your thumb? Like this, put in Trey. Why are we doing this? Why are we like putting our season what's on the line in the balance with Jimmy, who's not even 100% healthy? He can't even hold the ball. He's going to just fumble easily like that. Come on now. Like that's what you're looking at with Jimmy. I think it's just so many things and Jimmy was the highest paid quarterback and, wasn't earned or wasn't deserved. He had injury history. Like there's a lot of, and also, I don't know. Jimmy just gets scrutinized for, I think, a number of those reasons. Whereas like Stafford, those other guys, like it's all the picks, all the turnovers have context. But you make a good point in terms of, what is that separating factor? And Jimmy does have really strong intangibles. Like that's why he has strong intangibles. It seems like
think about Brady, bro. Like I mean, he makes mistakes, and I'm not I'm not trying to say that Jimmy should be
on that level,
on that level, or even giving excuses to that.
Yeah.
But like they all make mistakes, man. They all make mistakes. Like they all make mistakes. Take sacks, get fumbled, but then they get passes. They get passes when they do stuff like Jimmy just did right now. Take you down the field with a minute left or whatever the case may be and score after all that adversity that you just went through. That's what I think elevates these quarterbacks into other levels. So at what point would Jimmy G be respected? When is Jimmy G gonna give some respect?
I feel like he got some respect in this game. Like again, I was
hold on, but it's like I feel like this whole season for me personally, I feel like I've been like, okay, like after the Bengals game, I was like, I'm rocking with you, Jim. But then it was that quick to me to turn my back on him. Tennessee, I'm done. I was, and then Houston, oh yeah, Trey, like, it's still Trey, but it's like now after this game, I'm like, okay, we riding with Jimmy. Let's ride with Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a choice. Shanahan is good. And another thing with like, you talk about like quarterbacks and like what gives them the pass. There's the one category where it's like just elite guys. Like those are like you Aaron Rodgers. Like you see, it doesn't matter what the coach is, what the like you just see when you're at the game, like the pass that Stafford
but even like Herbert, like he's elite, but like he's elite, quote unquote, that crazy arm, but he's not, he makes mistakes.
He does, but even looking at that game tonight, like a lot of that you can just tell it's coaching and stuff. Like there's all these, and it's the players making plays, and the quarterback is hard. But the point I was gonna make is like there's so many other things that go into it. Like there's the elite guys who you can just tell are elite, but then it's like coaching, and Tom Brady's been with Bill Belichick, and like all those games, like, yeah, he threw interceptions in those Super Bowls and stuff. You go back, even Joe Montana, we want to talk about that. Like, we always talk about that, right? The Dwight Clark, the catch, 3 interception game, like, but the great coaching, the great defense, the
3
great things around you.
interceptions, bro.
3, yeah.
And he became a legend because of
And
that game.
I think that's a great context for this because, yeah, like Jimmy, when you look back on it, he had 3 turnovers in this game.
Could have been 3.
2 turnovers and 3 potential turnovers in this game with that fumble. And yes, like we were there. We 17-3, 17-0. But he was also able to, you got to give him credit too. I know he put us, that's why I put the title, man. Jimmy G saves us. He helped put us in that predicament where we needed to be saved. But, a lot of that's on.
So with that
team.
said, bro, at this point, where do you stand with him? Where do you stand with Jimmy?
Appreciation. I feel like
appreciation, but you got to go next year though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's Trey. I feel like, again, I don't agree with what we've done, but Shanahan he's been stubborn in his approach, and we got to ride with it. Like, I'd rather just embrace it instead of debating, like, and being mad, like, oh, I would have done this, I should have done this, because it is what it is. Like, I've let my opinion be known. A lot of faithful out there, we hear your opinion in the spaces, and we some smart fans. We know the game, we know the team, we know what we see, and a lot of us would prefer to all the things we saw today. Why couldn't Trey do that? Even the interceptions in the bad plays too. Trey could have had 2 interceptions. We don't know how he would bounce back, but that's what you do when you have a new player. When you trade so much, he's a rookie. Like, I want to see him play, and I want to see him in those situations. But at the same time, like, we're hoping that we're at the game, we're watching it, and the PI that Mosley got, Trey was out there getting hot, like you said at the side. Like, he's tuned in, tapped in, focused. Like, and this can all be good things for him. He did that at North Dakota State, where he got there, had to sit, learn the system. We think that he's done that part of the game. We've seen that in the Texans game. He played well, but this is a season where 17 games. We needed all 10 wins. And you were making the point earlier. It's not like, oh, they just added another game and we got in because we got lucky and we're the 7th team. Like, no, we are the 6th seed. We're not the 7th seed. We're the 6th seed, which is a big clarifier when you look back on the season. And Trey was a part of that. We wouldn't be in this position if we didn't beat the Texans. He had to step up. Yeah, it's the Texans, but we've lost to bad teams before. He did a great job responding in that game, and he's a part of the season. Whatever we do in the playoffs, sure. Trey has an actual tangible part in the season, and we're hoping that sitting on the bench, being developed, all those sort of things. Like, we're hoping like it can just bode well for him. And in the offseason, Shanahan will focus on, exclusively Trey, and we'll move on to that era. But for right now, I think this is Jimmy's team. We've made that clear. Shanahan's made that clear. My voice is so out, man. And this was an epic day. And I think it's great that you brought up the Joe Montana thing and all the quarterbacks and stuff. Because, yeah, man, like, just because you have turnovers, just because you didn't play perfect, you gotta win. This game is like, I mean, some crazy results. Like, we're looking at the Steelers, looking at the Jaguars versus the Colts, and Carson, and how they feel about Carson Wentz right now.
The Colts.
Yeah,
Carson Wentz. He is like, but yeah, but even watching Hard Knocks, bro, just the way Carson Wentz is, he just doesn't seem like a team. It just, I don't know. It's something about just the personality type. Just the personality type of Jimmy, man. I don't know what it is. Man. Jimmy Italian, right? He got that like good Italian boy, like just just a good Italian guy.
Good Italian guy, man.
He could be in a mob movie. Yeah. Like, he could be the young little nephew in a mob movie, just coming up. Just a good guy, one of the good guys.
But anyways, man, I'm gonna get to the rest of these comments, man. Bear with us because I got these 2 computers going, trying to navigate. But tap in with us. Let us know how you feel, man. You already know what it is at 49x365. We doing an in-person podcast because JB flew down, got the family over here. They sleep right now. Just a great trip. We're able to go to Disneyland. We see all the 49ers fans there. You know what I'm saying? I already knew the game was going to be crazy because we already saw then, like, all the red and the Bosa jerseys and the Jimmy jerseys and, all that good stuff coming into a game like this, man. It's amazing. So we're super excited. This is going to be actually, I think, our last stream directly on Frontline Sports Media. So make sure y'all tap in, follow us on YouTube. We're going to put the clips up on Frontline Sports Media, but we're going to do the live streams, the full episodes on our channel. You already know what it is, 49x365. Make sure y'all tap in. But man, a lot of things still to get to, a lot of comments. Man, what an epic game. What an epic game. I believe we would have the same percentage of winning with either one of them. Be honest. That's what they're saying. Trey versus Jimmy. Again, that may be true. You may be right. The faithful out there that think we would have won this game with Trey and maybe even handle it, that may be right. But we'll never know. And at the end of the day, we won with Jimmy. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't agree with what Shanahan's doing, but we were able to get through. It's kind of like, I mean, shit, you got kids. It's like, you sometimes maybe you want your kid to do something a certain way, and maybe they do something a different way, but as long as they still get it done, it's like sometimes you gotta live with it. And I feel like that's what it is being a fan of this team and watching Shanahan and the decisions he's made. It's been a roller coaster season, but I predicted in the offseason that we would be 10-7. That's what I expected. 10-7. We finished off the season 10-7. I did not expect it to go this way at all. Like ups and downs and all that.
And everybody was like, all right, by week 5, Trey will be starting.
Yeah, exactly. Like when do you think on the schedule? Oh, there's the bye week here. Yeah, maybe early.
Indianapolis. That'll be
maybe
his
this
time.
game. Like we all have all these visions of what we think about this team, but Shanahan's been steadfast, and I think you got to give him credit for that. Doesn't mean you have to agree with him. It doesn't mean that you would be wrong. It just means that he was right, and you got to acknowledge
he been
that.
sticking to his game plan. That shows a lot about his character. I mean, could be a good thing, could be a bad thing that he's stubborn in his his ways. But I mean, I don't know. It just seems a little more. It just seems like in pressure situations, it would seem easy to give in to the pressure of putting Trey in. It's like just it would seem easy. And so Shanahan, man, is like the only person, bruh, who wants Jimmy to start. That's how I feel. Like everybody wants Trey to start except for Shanahan.
Hey, yo, my bad. I just showed a comment from somebody that got a real explicit handle. People on these comment sections be trolling and whatnot, man. Y'all crazy. Like some of y'all fans, some of y'all folks out there, man, y'all need help for real, like mental help. I mean, I can't show it to you. It's just explicit. It's just explicit stuff going on in the comment section and whatnot. But at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna do my best to stay away from all that, but there's nothing you could do. Some of y'all just crazy. Honestly, it's funny. We were at the game, man. We seen a lot of we seen a lot of
fuck?
Yeah, we seen a lot of drunk fans in there. That it just was funny, man. It was a vibe, man. You go to a game like that with everything on the line. You're gonna see all types of scenarios, all types of people. So I don't even want to get into all the stories that we saw, but our section was really holding it down, man. There was one fan out there. And you always need a fan in every section that you're sitting that like is the one that's just gonna like lead the chance. He was making sure it was basically like a home game, like I said. So when we're on offense and stuff, he's trying to make sure everybody's quiet and stuff. He was like right at the front, at the edge of the at the level, and just doing all the let's go Niners shit. You always need a guy like that, man. Like shout out to him. I don't even know what is that, but y'all. Every section has one of those fans, man. So shout out to those ones who are like doing everything they can to be a part of this win. We did our part, faithful. We did our part. We was out there. So that game was live. Let me see if I can wrap up with a few more comments before we get to the end of it. Kittle and Bosa have been playing less than 100%. I don't know exactly what their injuries are. I imagine there are several nagging ones at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't know if it's because they're injuries. I mean, I just feel like Bosa specifically, I mean, I don't know. They say sacks come in bunches, but it doesn't seem like he's, peak Bosa. Like before, I think it was before this 3-game stretch, it was like, oh, MVP level. Like he was just dominating. I don't know, maybe that got to his head. I don't want to say it got to his head, but yeah, I don't know. We definitely need Bosa a little bit more. A little bit more. And Kittle, I just feel like, it's gonna come when it comes.
Yeah, and shout out to Jamal, man, letting us know about that hate speech in the comment section. Most definitely, I'm gonna do my best. We're gonna wrap up pretty soon. There's not much more to say. We just wanted to vibe out, man. That's what we do. I mean, this post-game show, I wanted to make sure we can get on, do a different experience. I can't really see everything, so I apologize if I showed something that was insensitive. And like I said, people are crazy. You gotta honestly just have empathy and
worry about them.
Yeah, we ain't worried about them. We ain't worried about them. But I did want to just wrap up, get to a few more comments. So hopefully there's nothing explicit in there. But man, faithful. Look, how y'all feeling? I didn't even ask y'all about the emojis. Put the emojis in the comment section. Like, let us know how you feeling after this win. I mean, it's got to be through the roof. It's crazy to like come on, do these post-game shows or go on Twitter and people are still, you know what I'm saying? Like the people who still have negativity or like something to say about, oh, Jimmy, this, like, of course, not a perfect game. We just talked about that. But this was, do you guys not realize what just happened with our playoff lives are on the line and we come into this game and we come out with a W in overtime in the most epic way. This is one of the greatest regular season games ever.
Ever, bro. Like
Like,
it is what it is. And
like
and number 10, Jimmy G was the person who helped this experience happen. It was a full experience. You got to get the full experience. You got to get the lows and the highs, the yin to the yang, and that was brought to you by number 10, James Garoppolo.
man, this shit is crazy. Greenlaw looked fast today, maybe a bit too amped today, but lots of energy. Shout out to the donation. We appreciate that, man. Definitely. I saw in the comment section too, they were saying Aziz is gonna be back next week against the Cowboys.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So that's what I mean. I don't know. That's what they said. So
I mean, because today he was questionable.
Yeah.
Coming into this game. So
yeah. So
I mean, Aziz, Greenlaw looking
Trent
back.
Williams, we need.
We
Trent
need
Williams, we need. And K1 we'll see. But
K1.
I ain't gonna lie, that's another one. The corner that we signed from the practice squad, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing the name right. Darqueze Dennard. I want to say, did he go to Alabama? I forget. I remember he was a first round pick. I remember him when he came out. He was like, I remember like he seemed like a slower type player, but a taller. He fits kind of like our profile, honestly, like in the mold of like a Sherman, from what I remember. But first round pick. I forget exactly where he went, what his story was, but we got him this week off the practice squad. From what we saw, he came in there and contributed and did his thing. Tart went out, Funga went out. We had to move things around. Shout out for Dante Johnson for going into that safety role. And early in the game, they were going at Dante Johnson. Cooper Kupp was balling, dominating, but Dante Johnson was coming up with a lot of big tackles, things of that nature. So, Dante Johnson, similar to Josh Norman, not somebody I'm ever going to get super mad at. Like, it's like he's in there to do his job and he's doing the best he can.
Right.
Like, there's a reason he's where he's at in the depth chart. But he did his thing.
Yeah, coverage
as much as he could.
Yeah, he's not that guy.
But he made some tackles,
Right.
and so I don't know. Shout out to those guys, but it would be best to get full health. K1, especially playing.
See what's up with Tart, bro. I don't like every time somebody put that groin muscle, I don't like how that sounds.
Yeah, I think he had a concussion too, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that was somebody else that Shanahan was getting mixed up with in the press conference. But yeah, man, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to get on before we wrap up the show, man.
Oh man, no, we just playoff bound on the Cowboys.
Epic,
man. We in
legendary.
We in a new part of the season, and we made it. I feel like we really made it, and so it's crazy, man. I think this win is huge for the franchise, for Shanahan. There's the narratives of one playoff. That was going to be the narrative. One playoff win in 5-6 years or however many years. Now 2 playoff wins. It's just different now. It's just different narratives, all decided by this much, which is crazy because now the tone is way different. But so I just feel like it's great for the franchise to get in the playoffs, and now it's just, man, we here now. We here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think back to being there, with my cousin, what I'm saying, seeing a game like this with all the marbles on the line. And I talked about it before, but when you get tickets for a game like this, you don't know if it's the last game of the season and people are going to get benched, and like you just don't know what to expect. You don't know if anything is going to be on the line. Like, it's kind of risky getting tickets like to a game like this at the beginning, but it definitely paid off. They even said on the broadcast, like, for everybody who's watching this game, like, this is one for the ages or something of that nature. And the real highlight for me is I don't know when this happened. Everything is a blur when you at them games, man. It's like just so many plays being made, right? And I just remember at some point I was looking up to the top of the ceiling to the roof in SoFi, and I was just like, man, we cannot. I think it was maybe when we punted, when we had those 3 timeouts, and I was just thinking, like, we can't lose like this. Like, this season, all the ups and downs, the roller coasters, like, just please, like, give us the energy to finish this thing off. Let us make these plays. Like, just please, we can't lose like this. And as I finish and look back at the game, you instantly look at me, you're like, man, we got to pray to the football guys right now or something, because we going to need some help to get this one done. And I'm like, bro, I just did. And everything in the end, somehow, some way, Ambry Thomas, like Jimmy G, Debo Samuel, get a touchdown throw, Jawan Jennings, just amazing plays by Elijah Mitchell.
We need him to be healthy.
Emmanuel Mosley.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan. I just got to tip my hat to these guys for not folding. And not only it would have been great to come back and at least they came back and like we finished the job and won the game. And for Coach Sean McVay to be running onto the end zone to celebrate with his team like a 5-year-old kid gives us the exact right to send those meme pictures of Dad Shanahan owning 5-year-old McVay who's doing those childish kid things to say, hey, you know what? We run this California. We own
It's
California.
like Sean McVay, bro. It's time to grow up, man. You want to be his bachelor. It's time to settle down, bro. You know, you need
Bars.
to you need to settle down. You know, get you a lady. Relax.
Relax.
Relax, bro.
Relax. So with that being said, man, look, faithful, one for the ages. Jimmy saves the day. There's a lot of other context to the game, but Jimmy and Ambry made the play to save the day. I appreciate all y'all for rocking with us this whole season. This is the 49365 post game show, and we get to do it for another week at least.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna do it after this, but yeah.
But I mean, the
Lot
post
in
game show,
season.
the
Yeah,
post
oh,
game
the
show, the
post-game
post
show.
game show.
Big.
We get another week at
Yeah,
least
man.
of doing the post game show, and man, it's just a joy to extend our life talking with y'all after these games. Like it's just dope, and man, what a great way to extend it. What a great fashion to do it. This is the 49365 post game show on Frontline Sports Media. Like I said, make sure y'all tap in to all the different accounts that we streaming this on right now. Follow us on Twitter at 49x365. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are going to be doing our streams on that channel moving forward. But my name is Bia Mechi, and as always, I'm with JB.
Hey, we out. Hey, faithful, stand up, baby.
Hey.
Yeah.
Feels great, baby.